All right, since the ending of Kick-Ass 2, many fans have wondered if it's possible that we could see a Kick-Ass 3 anytime soon. So far, no word, but in a recent press conference for his new film, Godzilla, actor Aaron Taylor Johnson said that there are currently no plans for a Kick-Ass 3, but that he would be open to returning to the role. John, do you think we could see a Kick-Ass 3?
No. No, I don't think we can. And I like the way Aaron Taylor Johnson says, he says, look, I wasn't signed on to do Kick-Ass 2, but I like the character, so I was open to it. And Kick-Ass 3, he said, look, there are no plans, but, anything can happen, it's possible. Yeah. To which Bryan Cranston just stepped in and interrupted and said, let's do Godzilla versus Kick-Ass now. Look, I loved the first Kick-Ass. And I'm in the minority that I actually even quite liked the second Kick-Ass. Wasn't nearly as good. It really missed Big Daddy. But the more important thing is that the public didn't want Kick-Ass 2. The first Kick-Ass worldwide made $96 million, which is pretty good. That's not bad for the type of film that it was. What studios want to see when you're doing a sequel is you want to see this trajectory in the box office. The first one made 100, the second one made 115 or something like that. First Kick-Ass made 96 million, the second Kick-Ass made 60 million. Yeah. That is our way, that's the audience telling the studio we're not really interested. And so I just can't see a studio stepping up. I would love for there to be a Kick-Ass 3. I want to see the continuing journey of the mother effer versus Kick-Ass and all that kind of stuff. I do, but I just... nobody wants to throw money away, so I don't think it's going to happen, Mary.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think sequels are usually a financially driven decision, and I think because the second one came in, it opened at 5th place. I mean, it opened behind Planes, which opened a week before, so it's certainly not something the studios are interested in. Also, just because the actors want to revisit their characters doesn't mean that there's really a place for it. Chloe Grace Moretz said she would love to go visit a darker hit girl and go and explore her character more, which I would love to see, but I just don't see it happening.
I don't think it's going to happen either, and I agree with you, actually, John. I'm in the same boat. I didn't really love it, and I don't necessarily. I mean, Big Daddy, obviously they were missing, but the reason I think what they were really missing was Matthew Vaughn. I thought Matthew Vaughn was what made the first one so special, and besides, even with Wadlow now, he's attached to doing Masters of the Universe, so he's going to be away. They're not going to get Matthew Vaughn back. I think it's too tough of a property for them right now to get some new people in there to make it work. And like you said, the money wasn't there for the second one, so it's not when we're like, well, we have to find someone to do the third one because it's obviously going to make money. It's too much of a risk.
Of course, we've got to ask you about Kick-Ass. You worked with people like Aaron Taylor Johnson in that. What was it like working with those guys, and what is it about the Kick-Ass world that attracted you?
I liked the whole idea of the world. I thought it was a unique version of a superhero movie, which is what I liked. And I wasn't playing some sort of stereotypical girlfriend of a superhero. It seemed unique and relatable. And working with them was wonderful. It was, when I shot it was my first time in London at the time. So it was a whole new country, a whole new experience. I knew Christopher Mintz-Plasse, but it wasn't, it was a whole new thing. So it's always really scary, but it was a really wonderful experience.
And of course, you saw you back for Kick-Ass 2 as well. How is it working with Jeff Wadlow compared to Matthew Vaughn on the first movie?
Very different, totally different. Jeff is, American and younger, and he just kind of speaks more my language. But they were both fantastic and unique in their own way. I mean, it's hard to compare because it's like apples and oranges, but Jeff was fantastic.
And of course, there's a scene in the books, the original comic books, that doesn't make it into the second movie. I mean, what did you feel about that kind of very violent scene that your character had in the comic book world that didn't make it into the film?
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of violence in both movies, and I just don't think you can have everything. There's got to be a plot and a story, and it's hard to tell all of that stuff in a film. And in a comic book, you can just keep turning the pages. So it's a little bit more difficult in that medium. So.
Now, how likely are we to see you back for Kick-Ass 3, which we were all looking forward to, let's face it?
I mean, it's in such beginning stages that nobody knows. I have no idea.
How much would you like to be back there with them all?
Oh, I'd love it. It's like a family. I'd love that.
Well, I think You know, I'm not contracted to do 3, but I wasn't contracted or signed to do number 2 either. So, you know, we kind of came to it at a certain point all together. And so, you know, I can't rule it out, but, you know, there's no plans for it. So.
How about Kick-Ass versus Godzilla?
Now we're talking.
Just throwing it out there.
Won't last very long on that thing.
Of yours for a long time, I probably would say was the Kick-Ass movies, right?
Yeah.
Was the first time maybe you came on. Well, there's rumor that there's a third one, maybe in the works. Is there a Kick-Ass 3?
I mean, I think I would love to do a Kick-Ass 3. I think it'd be really fun to see, you know, where Hit Girl goes and what she's like as an adult. But I think it would have to be, you know, kind of perfect. You know, I feel like it would need to be across the board, Aaron Taylor-Johnson and Chris Mintz-Plasse and the whole crew back together.
And as funny and as perfect as the other two were,
Yeah.
All right, bud. So you would consider it?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, good.
I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I'll start writing it.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah. I want
You're
to
going to be
about...
Kick-Ass, though, this time.
Oh,
don't tell Aaron.